Hey, you guys, it's Mrs. Tantino, and this is going to be a weird video because there's no one in the room. It's just me. And that's because I tried to videotape this and it didn't work. So I don't have a mask on now, and I'm facing the camera so you can hear my voice and it won't go in and out. So I'm going to try to get this done in like 10 minutes so you can see what we're doing. So here's what's going on for today. We are now changing the shape of our graphs a little bit. So we're going to be having a number out in front. We call that a multiplier. So I don't know if you remember when we used to do the parabolas, we would say something like this: x plus 2 quantity squared plus 4. And then we would say maybe there would be a number out front like a 2. And that number would make the graph like really skinny or really fat. Or sometimes we would have a negative number out front like this, and it would make it a sad view. Remember that? It would go upside down like that. So that's what's going to happen tonight, is we're going to be changing the shape of our little comets. Now, the reason that helping point I've been pushing you on these the last 2 days is because the helping point is totally going to help us know what the shape of our graph is going to be. So let's take a look at the very first one that we're doing here. If you want to write this down, or if you want to print this off of the notes tonight, I put that in Google Classroom. So here's what it is. It is a y equals, I have it right there, 3, my board is being so finicky, 3 square root of x. So just a couple things to remind you, we have no one being added inside, and we have no one being added outside. So our endpoint stays the same. Our endpoint, EP, our endpoint, it is going to be 0, 0. And let me remind you why that is, because this bad boy is my x coordinate. It's this guy, and we always do it opposite. And this guy is my y, right? So it's 0, 0. Yay. So we're going to come over here and we're going to graph the 0, 0. But now watch what happens. Remember from last night, to do our helping point, what we do is we go up 1 from that guy. So if it's 0, we're going to plug in the number 1 and we're going to see what happens. So we're going to take 1 and we're going to plug this 1. Let's see if I can actually grab this 1. We're going to plug this 1 right in here. Do you see how I'm doing that? That comma went with him. So we're going to plug that in right there. So here's what I'm going to get. I'm going to plug 1 in. And so what I have, the square root of 1 is 1 times 3 equals our y equals 3. So I'm going to come over here. That's bugging me right here. Come off you. Our y equals 3. So watch what happens when I graph it. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go over 1, up 3, and look at this graph now. This graph, instead of being a normal one, look how high up he goes. Remember our other ones yesterday would kind of go like that. But this new guy, he flies really high. So if you have a number in the front, like this guy, what it's going to do is make your graph go up much, much higher, right? So that's what we're doing. Okay, let's take a look at this one real quick. Let's see what happens here. Well, not only do I have a 3 there, do you see the 3? I also have, ooh, check this guy out. I got a negative happening there, right? So watch what's going to happen for him. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to start with our endpoint, and our endpoint is going to be, my board is just really bugging me all day today. I feel like it's being super finicky. Our endpoint is going to be 0, 0, right? Because I have nothing added on here and nothing added on there. So here we go. Now our helping point, here we go with our helping point, is going to be 1. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take this 1, see if I can grab it, and I'm going to plug in the 1 right here. So here's what I've got. Y equals -3 times the square root of 1. Y equals -3 times 1. Y equals -3. So here's his other point. And let's see when I graph that, what that's going to look like. It's going to be pretty cool. So our original point, our first endpoint, was 0, 0. And this new point is 1, -3. Look what happened. He flips upside down. Are you cool with that? So the numbers in front make him be stretchier, and a negative flips him upside down. Now there's one more trick that you got to know, and it's this, that our domain works exactly the same as it did last night. So we're going to say our domain on this guy is everything this way, right? That's what we're doing. It's everything that way. So our domain starts at 0. I steal it from this guy. It's a nice solid bracket, 0, and it goes to infinity. But on the negative ones, you got to be super careful, because look what happens. Our range goes down to infinity, to negative infinity, instead of up. So he's going down to hell instead of going up to heaven. So here's what you've got to be careful of. Remember, when we do domain and range, we go little to big. So on this one, it's hard to remember. Only on the negative ones, we go negative infinity first, and then we steal this guy, and it will be to 0. The only ones that do that are these ones. Okay, so I want to make this a pretty quick video. We're already at 7 minutes, so I'm going to jump all the way to the last problem. You know, if you're not around, if you've been sick and you're watching this, I am going to do tutoring on Thursday at 7, so you're welcome to come in. But if you can get this, you are good to go. So here's what we're going to do on this problem. We're going to start with our endpoint, right? And our endpoint is we steal from that guy. Remember, we do the opposite because it's naughty, because it's in jail. So it's going to be 2. And we steal that guy. So it's going to be a 5. So here we go. We're going to go over 2, up 5. That's our endpoint. Our helping point is going to look like this. It's going to be 3. And now here we go. We're going to be really careful. We're going to plug in 3 up here. Let's move those little lines out of the way. There we go. So we're going to plug in 3, but we're going to have to use the order of operations and be really careful. So let's start on this problem to do this stuff first, right? And they're going to be really easy numbers. You're going to like it. So 3 take away 2 is the square root of 1, right? Oops, that guy moved a little bit. Okay, square root of 1. Okay, I got a -4 out here, and I got a +5. So the question is, what do I do next? Well, the next thing you do is you get rid of the square root, because the order of operations say exponents, and he's like an exponent. So that's just going to be 1. Yay. Now I'm going to multiply by -4. That's what comes next, multiplying. So I get -4, and then I'm going to add 5. I just keep moving this board here. So what I'm going to get is 1. So my helping point is 3, 1. Man, I'm so sorry that this is so wonky today. I don't know why. I'm going to have to restart my whole computer. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph this guy. So we start at 2, -5, or 2, 5, and then we're going to go 3, 1. Look at him. He goes like this. Phew, he's really cool. Oh, really? Nuts. If you're at home laughing at me, I can hear you. Don't laugh at me. Don't judge me. Now, let's do our domain and range. Domain, remember, easy. We don't hate domain. We just steal. So we're just going to take this guy. Oh, it'd be nice if I could just steal him. We're going to take this guy and we're going to go ahead and say, boom, 2 to infinity. But here's what we got to remind ourselves. With the negative, when we do the range, it's tricky to remember. It's hell. Get it? And he's going down. See what I did there? Yeah. So we start negative. We start down at the bottom, and then we steal this guy right here. And there you go. Okay, that's the basics. So I hope that helped. You're welcome to stop in and see me Zoom if you're one of my friends who has COVID for the week, or we can go over this tomorrow in class. Okay, thanks.